Phil Spencer, Phil Spencer, Phil Spencer. Man, every time this man comes on camera, he makes headlines. Every single time. Does not fail one time. And we got another interview, man. We've been talking about Phil Spencer in interviews here recently, from Paris and Danny, to Destin, and now Xbox Era has interviewed Phil Spencer, and we're gonna dig deep into this interview. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be kind of reacting to a Phil Spencer interview by Xbox Era. Look, we all know this man has been very, very active here in the past couple weeks. He's been on a variety of podcasts. Xbox Era is having their 250, I believe, episode. They recorded this a couple weeks ago, and there was a couple things that went down in this interview that I actually feel is very, very good to talk about. One thing, that we always go off is, what's the future of the hardware? How is the hardware going to function without exclusives? And myself particularly, I've always wondered, Microsoft has a phenomenal amount of games right now. They have a lot of games coming out. We have Avowed that just popped out. Indiana Jones came out like 2 or 3 months ago. We got South of Midnight next month. Next month. And then we got April South of Midnight. We have third party stuff next month. Then South of Midnight in April. Then we got Doom in May. And then in April we actually have that 33 Expedition game too. Like, to me, they have such an overwhelming amount of games in development. You're going to eventually get to the point where it's like, how do you plan around that? How do you have that many games come out and you're able to like effectively do that? So what we're going to do is we're going to pop over here to Xbox Era, and we're going to just listen to a couple segments of this podcast, just a couple segments, and see exactly, what's going on with here. And then what we'll do is we'll listen to the whole segment first that I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about it after that.
Fans have gotten used to over the last sort of 18 months of PlayStation announces for games. And you guys didn't shy away from it this time on your own show. Like, typically it's been like, we'll talk about that afterwards. We'll put a press release out or a blog post, but you're just showing the PlayStation logo now. I mean, we've embraced the future here at Xbox Hero. We understand like the bigger picture here, but is this just, hey, this is the Band-Aid off, guys. This is, we're still going to be different decisions, but this is the new era. Get used to the way things are going to be. Like, how would you frame that to the community?
So essentially, he's asking him, for those of you that need to know, I know the volume of the actual video is a little low. Let me raise it. He's just like, look, we used to see your games, get announced on like a blog or something afterwards. They never really came out there openly and just said the games are coming to PlayStation, not on their own stage. But this year on the Direct, with that Outer Worlds 2, it said the PlayStation logo on there. So a lot of people, because it's one thing to be a multi-platform company. It's another thing to like openly promote your competition in that hardware space on your own stage, because you don't necessarily have to do that. So let's pop back over here.
I think it's just being honest and transparent about where the games are showing. And we actually even had this discussion last year for June Showcase. And we couldn't, by the time we kind of made our decision, we couldn't get all of the assets done. And it felt weird to have some of them in and some of them out. But I just want to be transparent with people. If we're shipping on Nintendo Switch, we're going to put that. If we're shipping on PlayStation, if we're on Steam, like, people should know when the storefronts where they can get our games. But I want people to be able to experience our Xbox kind of community and our games and everything we have to offer on every screen we can.
So essentially, you guys see there, right? What I appreciate about Phil too in this particular conversation is he was just straight up honest. He's like, look, as of right now, our biggest thing is we want to be transparent. We want people to know what's going on, because I do feel like in the past they've said it, but they haven't said it. You know, they've said, oh, you know, just 4 games, but they knew that like Indiana Jones was in development at that time. They knew that Forza Horizon most likely was about to go in development at that time. So it's a lot of people would consider that disingenuous. Now, were these games in development at that time for the Xbox PlayStation? I don't know. But if you wanted to do just those 4 games to see how those 4 games are doing, you would probably need more time than what we actually got with those 4 games. It's kind of interesting here that he said they were going to show PlayStation logo E3 last year. So clearly, once again, that mindset was all the way back at the June showcase. So you knew it was more than those 4 games at that time. I appreciate Xbox and Phil, even though I disagree with the approach because I still think that consoles need exclusives to sell hardware. But I appreciate being transparent and just flat out saying, "Look, we're going to put the logos on it. We're gonna be as transparent as we possibly can be." And I think that's good. So let's pop over here to the next one, man.
We always get is that the focus is the more places you are, the more your platform can still go. So just trying to alleviate worries in our community about the future of Xbox's platform itself has definitely been a thing for a while.
And I just want to show respect to the people who voice their concerns to me. Like, I get it. And it's not, I would never disrespect anybody who comes with me concerned. I've got a library of games on Xbox console. I want to make sure I'll continue to be able to play those games. Are we going to still do hardware? Are we going to still get to play the games the way we've always played? Am I going to have to rent all my games? Can I still buy games? Like all that, but I get it. Like I get the questions. I think we've shown respect for people's libraries over the generations with back compat and play anywhere. And I want to continue to do that. You can buy every game that's in Game Pass. Like there's no thing. We're not trying to funnel everybody into one business model. Play the games the way you want to play them. We obviously have to run a good business, so we'll have our pricing and everything that we do. But I want to make as many options as possible for the games that we have, so they find more and more players.
All right, so here pretty much Phil's saying, look, we have done a good job in the past on giving you options on if you want to play backwards compatible games. What I appreciate here is he's being very realistic on people have the right to fear what might happen to their digital library. But, you know, he did say I don't think the backwards compatibility is a fair, point, because when you were building the backwards compatibility, you're building it to make the console more appealing to the demographic you were trying to sell the console from that came from the 360 because of the backwards compatible games from the 360. I look at this like I look at everything else. Corporate's going to do what corporate does best. They're going to cut corners when they can, and they're going to try to drive as much money into their bank accounts as possible. And to me, I don't look at a scenario where if Xbox is costing them money, the hardware, not the ecosystem, the hardware, that's where me and Phil kind of like differ a little bit on that. But he is right. They have done a lot in the past to not only play your backwards compatible games that you got from the 360 and got from the original Xbox. They also enhanced them. So he's not right. He's not wrong on that perspective. But I do feel, the hardware itself, that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't ditch the hardware, because just like these games going multi-plat, you can make the argument that Phil probably had no say in that. So he would have no say if they decided to ditch the hardware eventually. Does that mean that's going to happen? I don't know. But, I respect him for being transparent. A lot of people they gave Xbox Air a lot of shit for this interview. I disagree. I felt like this interview was a solid interview, and they asked them some good questions, but that's just me. Let's pop over here and watch this next one.
Is such a ridiculous volume coming this year just from yourselves alone. Forget everything else third party. Have you guys got I guess a specific strategy in mind, or like a roadmap in terms of genre variety or anything like that? Or is it just whatever the teams are doing, they're doing, and it's all going to come out whenever?
No,
whenever
it's
ready.
such a good topic. Matt Booty and I, talk about Avowed. We talked about this a little bit when we moved it, that between Call of Duty, Black Ops, which we thought was just going to be an awesome release with Black Ops
It
6
was.
and the team, it was like, you didn't want to be around that. Like I said, we broke records with the number of players, still continues to do great. We really we thought Indy was going to be awesome. That was going to be our December game. So it was hard to actually find a time for us. And we said, okay, games can always benefit from more time. So that was it. But it was really about planning the portfolio. And I think we're like still working on that. Obviously, when we stand up at Showcase and show the games that are Dev Direct, keep calling it Showcase, and like those are the dates that we're committed to. But when we look forward, we're definitely want to make sure that the games have the right amount of room, both from, as you said, like a genre perspective, whether it's add-on like a DLC, like a Vessel of Hatred for D4, Shattered Space for Starfield, or a full game. And it's nice to be able to have kind of more cards than we've ever had to play, and to be able to play them at the right times. But the studios are really the ones that enable that, and they're just doing really great work right now.
And then,
Yeah, so right there, essentially what you're seeing is, I've seen in the past where they have dropped games very close to each other, especially games that's in like Game Pass and stuff. And to me, I always felt like that's putting some games to fail, but it does look like they understand that logic. They understand that, we are a publisher now. We're going to make more games and get more games out the gate than we normally would have. We got to start being better on making sure that these games don't cannibalize each other, because they will. Now, certain genres, that's different. And I think, even he said that when it comes to like expansions like the Diablo, that might not be the case. You could probably drop that around something because it's got an established fan base that is going to play that game regardless, and that's the people they're trying to sell that and buy their time through Game Pass. So I feel like that's a very interesting thing right there. So here's my last clip we're going to watch from them. Once again, Xbox Air in the description below. Great, fantastic interview. I'm really appreciating this interview. So let's pop in here and let's listen to this last one.
So that one stays on the board. I do think the work that Double Fine's doing and how Tim kind of solicits feedback from the team. And the other one I'll say, because I was recently out at Rare, it's nice to see the team with Everwild and the progress that they're making.
It's been a while.
It's another one that it has been. And we've been able to give those teams time in what they're doing, and which is good, and still have a portfolio like we have.
Yeah.
It's like a dream that Matt and I have had for a long time. So it's finally good to be there. We can give those teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all of that is so. And next week I'm going to be up in Vancouver with the Coalition, and how fun.
What I appreciate about that is he's talking about Double Fine. They make a lot of games. They're like kind of like an indie AA powerhouse. They're constantly pumping out those high quality AA games. I'm hoping with Microsoft the quality goes up more. I'd like for them to stay in their AA lane, maybe one AAA game every couple years, but I would like for them to stay in that AA lane.
Come with
that. Yeah, I'm actually playing through Gears again. I have a coworker, and she's like younger and never played. She'd never played, and I said, "Well, they're all co-op, so let's go through." And we're on 3 now. Josh Stein's in. We're all playing Hitman. A friend of mine from Xbox Live. We're playing together, and man, those games hold up well. The storytelling,
especially on Series X with how good they look. 2 and 3,
yeah,
my God,
so good. So I'll be up there next week, which is. I'm like a pig in mud when they let me in the doors. In the studio.
That's unreal.
I bet.
I will say, I mean, if I can sneak in,
I really like they brought up Coalition. That's rumored a while now that the next Gears E-Day or Emergency, however you guys want to pronounce it, that it's rumored to come out this year. That kind of lines up a little bit more. He's going up there. If it does come out this year, talk about marketing, talk about what they're going to do on the stage. June showcase is ready to come out this year. The fact that he's going to see them is very good in general. He even brought up State of Play in this. I mean, State of Decay. You guys know I'm a huge fan of State of Decay. I really enjoy that franchise. So I'm beyond excited that, he's talking about that game. I feel like we're getting to the point where we're probably going to start actually seeing this game come out in the next while. I think it was rumored that it might be coming out next year, maybe early the year after that. Look, I still don't agree with the direction that Xbox is heading, but I'm over that now. The biggest thing that I just want is I want to see more scenarios where there's conversations about having an Ori 3. I want to see more scenarios where if they're going multi-plat, they feel more comfortable greenlighting something with, Mistwalker, make another Lost Odyssey. I want to see more games like Banjo-Kazooie get greenlit because they know they're selling it to a broader audience. If you're going to take risks and have me risk my library because you're making your console less effective by having no exclusives there, because there's no denying that's a thing, especially where you saw like the State of Play where Xbox essentially have no marketing anymore. PlayStation's marketing almost everything you can think of. Are they still marketing stuff? Yes. Obviously, I don't mean they're marketing zero things. I'm just saying some of the biggest games coming out this year, PlayStation has the marketing rights to. So they're affiliating themselves with a lot of the key components to this year. Most likely GTA 6. The good thing is Microsoft has that COD marketing from here going forward, and that's going to help them from a variety of factors. Look, like I said, just show me more incidents where I see these games that I want get made, and we good. Even if the hardware goes away, I don't want it to go away. I'm hoping when they start releasing these games and these games, are good, hopefully, like Fable, even if they are on PlayStation, I do hope that they see Game Pass as a value and it does bring people to the platform because there's a variety of games on the platform through Game Pass. I have my doubts on the strategy, but it's never been done, so I don't know if something like that is even possible or not possible. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. As always, appreciate it. You can always sub to the channel. We make weekly content on here. Shout out to Xbox Air, man. You guys, people can't say you didn't ask them some hard questions. You did. You asked them a couple hard questions. I would put this, about around where the Destin interview was. Destin definitely hit him with more hardcore questions, but you guys did your thing, man. You guys did your thing. All three of them, man. Paris, Danny, Nick over there at Xbox Era, all the people at Xbox Era, and Destin all did your thing with these interviews. You fed us all. You fed us all. But if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's Lord Addict IOP. You can follow me on YouTube at got a streaming channel, Addict Arena. I'm gonna be doing things with that here lately. But anyway, you guys have a good one. Peace. Man, Phil Spencer gave me like 3 weeks of videos. Love it.